Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Farmers Market Talks. This is number 8 with Altura Perfecta, our buddy Ed, frequently at the Farmers Market. You know, I was having this dream, and I had a dream that we were interviewing him, so I wonder how that went.
Away from architecture and into construction. And that's my 9 to 5. Do a lot of work in buildings with clients, meeting new people, designing and constructing different facilities, homes, remodels, all types of construction. So that's what I do. That's my standard 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I think one of the interesting things in that regard is that a lot of the work that you do has to do with building out of commercial kitchens and all. As a chef, I know how intense that can be sometimes, and meeting all those requirements and everything. But you stay busy with doing a lot of that kind of construction, commercial kitchen things, right?
Yes, I do a lot of commercial restaurants, and I enjoy doing the restaurants. Started off, my first introduction in the food industry was through Continental Airlines. I was a project manager for the airlines, and one of the flight kitchens was in my territory, so I had to learn all about the grease systems, the grease interceptors, the trash compactors, all types of health code and operations, how to keep food on temp and all that good stuff. So it started there, and I started getting more and more restaurants as I went on in my career. I started doing Panda Express, Landry Seafood, a number of restaurants. So I do enjoy and look for restaurant projects.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, that sounds pretty, like, how long have you been doing that?
For about 10 years now. Yeah,
10 years, right? So
yes.
what makes you go, well, let me look up some coffee stuff. I want to do coffee now. How does that happen?
It where it started was one day I was just curious about the roasting process, how to make coffee.
Yeah.
I started looking on YouTube, and I started looking at videos of people that do it at home, where they buy beans and they just do it right on their stove top. I've seen it done in the ovens. I've seen all types of different ways that people roast coffees. I went out and got me some green beans, bought them from some store up in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin coffee?
Wisconsin coffee. I started roasting right there on the stovetop, and
wow.
Did it as I could. I made a smoky mess, but sure enough, I made some coffee.
Yeah. And then from there, what did you do? You just keep going, or?
Yeah, from there, I started doing it for friends, and I thought somewhere in the back of my mind, maybe I could make some money doing this, selling this product. So I decided to try out some farmers markets. I went to a small one on the East Energy Corridor, started out there. And at first I was selling all my product in a prepackaged bag.
Yeah.
And I was doing okay. For the foot traffic I had out there, I had some good clients and good sales. They were solid. So started thinking about my packaging and other types of coffee. I mean, I've sort of expanded this into a couple of different types and flavors, roasting to medium, to light, to sometimes dark, French. I even do some espresso blends for some people, but it turned from passion into something that I could see myself, expanding this into something a little bit bigger, a little bit more.
Yeah. So you're physically roasting the beans yourself now, or you have like somebody do it for you now, or what?
Yeah, I do it all myself. I have a roasting machine that I designed and I use today.
Yeah.
So I can roast up to 4 pounds of coffee at one time.
So do you find it that, you know, you throw a rock in, man, you'll hit 5 or 6 coffee shops, but everyone's different. That's what I come to find out. You know, every coffee shop is different because they either sell different types of coffee than from each other, or you know they'll well, I roast, well, I don't roast, and I do this and I do that. So even though there is you know, you can get a bunch of coffee shops, but they're all different. So one thing that I noticed about your coffee when we first met you, I was, man, your coffee is really good. For me, and I've told Roy this, for me, to figure out what's good coffee is the black coffee test. You know, so if I can drink
Exactly.
coffee black
Mhm.
and it's tasty,
Yeah,
then okay, then you
it's
know
good coffee.
it's good coffee. They did something right. But if I drink the black coffee and Jesus Christ, I'm gonna pass out, then nah, that this is not for me. And but your coffee does that, man. It passed the black coffee test, but it's
Great.
really it's some really good stuff. And I remember you telling me that you know that you would go down. That I think you actually take trips to Costa Rica and all that stuff to get the stuff. I mean, to get the beans.
I have not taken a trip down to Central America or any of the coffee plantations. I've been invited
Okay.
to a couple in El Salvador, and I've got an open invitation to one in Honduras,
Yeah.
where I get Honduran beans. No,
And
I
you
just
source them.
You
out
source.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you source them from Central and South America and that sort of thing. You know, over the years, I've had a chance to visit some of those plantations in Central America, like Honduras. You know, and I'm always kind of partial to Honduran coffee. I spent a lot of time up there and in some of those plantations and seeing those coming from the tree to the drying process to the roast and all that. And I think that you get some of your beans from that part of the world, and that kind of sets people apart too. I think is where you source those beans, and when you have good quality bean coming from those Central American countries, particularly Honduras and other countries there, you're gonna produce a good product.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of the different sources you have down there in Central America.
Well, the primary one that I have is Honduran. It's from Olancho. The owner lives here in Houston. He travels back and forth between Honduras and Houston. Um, he's very much involved in all the growing process, from plants to harvesting. He showed me pictures of all his machinery. Um, he's showed me pictures of like where they dry the coffee, where they store the coffee. It's in a very, very rural part of the world. In fact, I don't think they have any electricity at the coffee plantation, and
Yeah.
their water source is actually from a flowing stream, so it's not coming out of a piped-in faucet or something like that. So I think that's very interesting that he's very rural like that. It's very rural sourced. So I get a lot of it from Honduras. I also get coffee from Costa Rica. I also get it from Guatemala, from Colombia, uh, and Nicaragua. So at any time, I might have a couple of bags of these products
Yeah.
from Central America.
It's kind of cool to you know back in the day, all we knew was Folgers, and these big companies and stuff. So when they
Mhm.
said, "Oh, this is Colombian," you're just like, "Oh, okay, yeah." You never really, it's like gasoline. Well, this got Techron and additives inside it, but you don't really know. You just have to take their word for it. You know what I mean? So when they said here and say, "Oh, this is Honduran or Colombian," I mean, you don't really know. I mean, but
Well, yeah, when you're opening up a can of Folgers, I don't know where it's coming from really. I don't know.
exactly.
It's coming
That's
from
right.
that a lot of their coffee beans are coming from.
Yeah, that's
Um,
you know.
but you bring up an interesting point because a lot of these coffees, even though Costa Rica is next to Panama, or Nicaragua is really close by, each one of them has a very distinct flavor,
Yeah,
and they
yeah. That
all have these flavor notes of like the Costa Rican tends to be a little bit more on the the tropical fruity kind of notes that you get. The Nicaraguan is a little bit more chocolatey, a little bit more nutty, but every one of them is very distinct and unique.
You know what I found is that you're exactly correct, and a lot of people don't realize that. So these flavors will vary depending on the soil, on the altitude where that coffee is grown, and all those sort of things. But those are two of the very, very specific things that really influence the coffee flavor: the terroir, if you will, the dirt where it's grown, and the altitude of where the plant is located.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. I was going to mention that. I mean, it would have to be like, even though they don't have, like, say, plumbing, but they do have, a creek or a river. I mean, that water's got to be, amazing, versus versus somebody growing some coffee beans on a big plant, when they got pumped in water and stuff like that. So, we filter the water, but no, it ain't like it's coming from the mountains,
That's right.
So do you find yourself, I mean, or do you bother yourself with, as being a small coffee roaster and a small coffee business person, about other coffee shops, other coffee things, or do you just say, you know what, man, I know my stuff, you know what I mean?
No, one thing that I found out or I learned that's very unique about this industry is everybody shares a lot of information.
Really?
Even before COVID, I used to attend Boomtown Coffee's weekly tasting.
Yeah.
A wide open format, and they'll let people from other roasting companies come by, other coffee shops. Somebody in the coffee industry from out of town can come by. I can bring anybody that I want there to taste it. And they'll bring in different coffees from all over the world, from Indonesia, from Yemen, from the Philippines. They'll bring in coffees from all different places, just so that everybody gets to try something different.
Do you know the guy that owns Boompen?
I've only met a couple of them upper management. I haven't met the owner.
Yeah. The guy started years ago, and this was, gosh, it's been some years ago. But I was using a commercial kitchen downtown, and it was the kitchen was called Incubator, and it was on Franklin, and had a commercial kitchen in the back and an area where I did cooking classes and stuff back there. It lent itself to that. And the front part of it was just like a tiny little cafe that was open to the public during the week. And he was doing coffee roasting and started doing coffee roasting and coffees there at that little cafe. And I remember he had a little roaster, it was probably the size of this cup of coffee, sideways. And he could put maybe a quarter of a pound in there and he'd turn it and had a little burner on it and all that. And that's how he started right there. And he'd roast some, make some coffee. He'd say, Roy, come in here, try this, man. I just roasted this up. And it started right there at Coffee Incubator.
Nice.
Yeah,
he's a good guy. Yeah.
One of the things that I noticed over the years working at the farmers market, and just vending, back in the day when we were doing the festival grind and the food truck grind and all that, is everything started shifting towards local small business. Everybody started asking questions about where their food comes from. You know what I mean? Well, where'd you get that? Or well, it could be something as simple as a hamburger, but they want to know where you got the meat from. You know what I mean? Well, where'd you get the meat? Where do you source the meat? And then you tell them HEB and they, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So everything kind of shifted towards the small business, because you can watch what you buy and you can watch what you create a little closer than you would with this big giant companies, and you can tell them, well, I made that mayo, or I made that mustard, or this ground beef, I grind it myself. I got a buddy that has a ranch, and we butcher up half a cow, and I make my own meat. So as people come to you and they start talking coffee and start talking shop, do you see that you get a lot of reoccurring customers are coming back because they know where their coffee's coming from?
I do. I have customers that come out weekly looking for my product.
Yeah.
If I'm missing from one of my scheduled markets, I'll hear about it the next week.
Oh yeah, they'll let you know.
Oh yeah, they'll let me know.
They'll let you know. Look here, man. I drove 10 miles. Where were you?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, man, I was in the hospital.
Yeah, somebody came by the other day and said, "Oh, my mother loves your freshest coffee."
Nice.
I happen to be out of it, and I'm gonna make a delivery, a special delivery tomorrow. Person's mother.
Yeah. There you go.
But
so
a lot of people ask for my. They ask me where do I get my coffee from. Some people even ask, and they ask if it's grown here in Houston, and I tell them no. It all has to be grown at the right elevation with the right climate conditions, and unfortunately,
don't exist here.
It's like, really, coffee in Houston? The thing, with any kind of small business, there's a lot of education. There's just some, I don't want to sound like the guy that's making fun of people, but there's just a lot of people just don't know. They just don't know where stuff comes from. And I was like, no, coffee beans in Houston, I don't know about that, but yeah, and so that just kind of plays in with the whole small business, and there's small things like that, whether you survive or you don't. Let's say you don't want to educate people and actually explain stuff. If I ask you questions and then you're kind of, I don't want to go back to that guy. He didn't know what's going on, But so it's kind of a give and take. You have to.
Yeah, even if we had the information here, let's say we had a mountain downtown at 4,000 feet or 3,500 feet, we still don't have the soil to grow.
No.
You got to have really rich soil.
Yeah, it's funny. Right. It's funny what the soil, what soils do. I got soil that'll make a pecan tree grow like you wouldn't believe, but that's about it. It won't grow nothing else.
Yeah.
One of the closest things that I can compare to coffee growing, where it has so much influence on the ground that you're growing it in, and altitudes and different things like that, is a grape growing. Grapes will grow a lot of different places, but I mean the soil condition has to be a certain way, and different wines will taste different if they're from a different climate and different altitude, and all sorts of things. It influences fruit, whether it's a grape or whether it's a bean, which is a berry, because the actual coffee is a little red berry, when they pick it, and then they dry it and all that kind of stuff. So it's like a grape, and it's influenced greatly by
like a grape.
It's like a grape, except it's got a little nut on the inside.
Said it don't taste like a grape.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah, and I was really surprised, long time ago when I found out that that you could make wine in Texas. I thought that was only the Italian, Spain, and all that stuff. But then they come realize you drive 3 miles outside of Houston, and man, you'll hit every winery in North Texas. I mean, come on. So it was just really cool to know that you could do that. So what's anything new? Anything new for you, or you coming up with some new stuff, or
what's new for me? I used to. Right now, I have a lot of Honduran coffee. I've got a lot of Costa Rican coffee, and then I have my other blends and things. I've got some from Congo, from Tanzania. I used to have this one Colombian coffee. It's my Supremo. But I've sort of been through this this process where I want to find a really good quality Colombian and offer it to people.
Yeah.
And I found another source. I'm going to start introducing that the next week or two.
Was it Escobar coffee or something like that?
Escobar coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll get hooked. One cup and you're hooked. Yeah. Comes with a price.
As far as coffee goes, that's the newest thing. But my my new thing, by the end of the year, I want to be on Amazon.
Oh, nice.
So I'm looking to modify my logo. I'm probably going to keep the same packaging, but I'm just going to modify the logo.
Yeah, it looks like a train from here. Kind of looks like a train moving really fast. The mountain. But no, it looks good.
Well, it looks like a mountain.
Yeah.
Well, tell everybody about the name, which I love. You know, Altura Perfecta, and for those who don't speak Spanish, that's perfect altitude, which really relates to the bean. But tell us how you came out with the Altura Perfecta as your name.
You know, it all. I started off with Perfecta. Perfecta it happens to be my grandmother's name.
Oh, nice.
Perfecta. So I said, how can I come up with a name?
Incorporate it.
A namesake that sort of remembers grandma and sort of relates to coffee. And I was doing a lot of research and things like that, and I came out with why not the Altura Perfecta?
I love it.
So that's how the name came about.
Yeah, that's a great story, and usually names, unique names like that do have a story, and that was a great story, and that really connects with what you were doing.
Yeah. So Altura Perfecta, I get a lot of compliments on the name.
Sure.
So I'm very happy with the name. I think it's going to stay. It's just the logo, the image might get modified just a little bit.
Yeah. Cool, man. So where can the average person find your stuff?
At the East End Market every Sunday from 10 to 2.
Absolutely.
There you go. No, that's not a
That's the best place to get
we had no collaboration with that. That's all on your own. Came up with that. By no means did we force you to say that.
So if you make it to that market, I'm at the Whiskey Cake.
Okay.
I had to watch my words there. I almost said Whiskey River. Whiskey Cake. I'm there once a month at the Katy location, Stafford, and you can. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. If anybody wants to contact me personally, I can make deliveries for coffee.
Okay. So they can call you or email you or messenger you like that, and then you can take an order that way.
Yes.
Oh, that's
I don't have a working website right now because the price point, and then by the time you add shipping on there, the customer is going to really pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to get on the Amazon, because Amazon will reduce the shipping and handling costs on my end.
Nice.
And I can put my product out available to everybody across the nation at a reasonable price.
That's cool. Well, Ed, we're getting towards the end of the line here. And man, I appreciate you coming out, man. Like I said, anything we can do to help you guys sell your products and let other people know about your products and stuff.
Sure.
Hey, next time you're at Boompen Coffee, ask for Matt Toomey. The guy's name is Matt Toomey. Yeah. And if he happens to be there, tell him you know me, and tell him, Chef Roy knew him back when he was at the place over there on Franklin starting off and all. Matt's a great guy, man. He's a super guy, nice fella, and I'm glad he's doing well.
Good. I love to hear stories like that, because I know he's got just a couple locations.
You're right.
Yep.
And a roasting facility, and he is open to. He'll let me go look at his roasting machine.
Nice.
Their new logos. They'll help out in any way that they can with information or just a new technique. They're very helpful.
Next time you're in Galveston, check out a Mod Cafe. MODA, Mod Cafe.
Okay.
It's a little locally owned coffee place. They do coffee very well, and check it out. And
Yeah.
the cortado is my favorite. The Cuban espresso cortado with a little bit of heavy cream. Man, they do it right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta introduce some Armenian coffee in there, man.
Oh yeah, some Chef Ara stuff. Yeah.
Chef Ara stuff's got some Armenian to put you on your booty.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Nice.
All right, Ed. We will see you this Sunday, man. It's always good to talk to you. And for everybody out there, we will see you when we see you. Bye.